days. It's called French Quarter Tryst. Has anybody here been to New Orleans? One of these days I want to go. This is what I imagined it would be like. Saturday on a bayou night down Royal Street and beads and la-da-da-da. The blues slipped over me like a tight cocktail dress, and music showed us where to turn. The quarters swayed from tipsy air, and the river reflected brown bourbon. Little fires in windows distorted by old glass into orbs of ghosts, wailing an Etta James song. I want a Sunday kind of love, a love to last past Saturday night, and I'd like to know it's more than love at first sight. I want a Sunday kind of love, oh yeah. And lovers stagger by, drunk on the ooh-shoo-doo-doo of the half-naked night. I took your hand and showed you where to put it, unlike a girl who goes to bed early to get up for church. We went into an alley and let the blue shadow over us. Woo! These ones are going to be in the book that John is putting together next year called Transing Angels. This one's called Three Crows in Snow. Yosa-Busan often painted crows perched in trees, alone and together, looking in different directions, for prey or at pine needles whose shapes in the wind resemble geisha fans moving. The branches become still and allow the crows to become little Buddhas, enlightened. I'm going to finish up with some poems that I've written kind of about my experience with my mother. She's going through cancer, and I find myself writing a lot about life and reflecting about my life and what it's meant and what my life with her has been like. This one's called The Last Day of Summer. We escape, woven into the forgetting, moving threads dragged under current, our bodies in wrinkled waves move deeper into the clear brown. Each grain of sand has a story to tell. So we move our ears closer to the bottom to hear muted words, and my daughter becomes the sepia picture of my past, as I wonder if my mother had thoughts like this at 40. How old will I see her become? Will I remember her name? I make dresses out of bright red silk and wear the jade for luck, for remembrance, for love I won't remember. Will she hold my hand even if we are strangers? And with each breath we let go, our bones become softer. I don't know if you guys, I'm a big fan of Federico Garcia Lorca.
All right.
I love his Casitas and his ghazals, and I'm going to share a few with you of my attempts at trying to write a Casita. This one is Casita for Tehran. They wore green to create a sea whose undercurrent cannot be felt immediately, but will rise. They wore green, whose songs appear at dusk, moving the salat into rounds of desperation and certainty, echoes of truth. They wore green for those who were silenced, for smashing cars and broken balconies. They stood on top of the rubble and cried out. This one is called Collecting Enlightenment in a Paper Cup. Every evening I exhausted my enlightenment, sitting in meditation, like some Buddha statue in my suburban yard. As if sitting still could save my soul, or wisdom automatically sink into my shoulders if I withhold my words. The mammoth butterfly beats its wings against the broadness of the sun, and I try to count its movement, but I can't see clearly, so I close my eyes to regain my balance. And this one is about Cleveland. It's called Revelations After Stalking a Car for Partridges. The cancer invaded her, and even though they tore it out, she feared it would reappear in some faraway territory her doctor never visited, like that city in the Yukon where you can only arrive by boat. She is afraid to leave the house after dark in Grosse Pointe, and she imagines me in a ditch by the side of the road when I travel to Cleveland. But I still want to rise above these towns, these smokestacks, and throw the dynamite to forge my path. She doesn't know that I feel my lymph nodes when I wake at 2 a.m. and I sit in the dark, or that I stopped the car on a dirt road just to watch a pair of partridges go by. And this one's called Ode to a Pablo Neruda Nude. Neruda said, "Naked, you are as blue as a night in Cuba. But as I watch you, naked in this bed next to me, your midnight is greater and swells over the Gulf of Mexico and covers the Keys. And the end of your laughter crashes on its rocky shoreline, spattering the evening bonfires of fishermen. No, as you lie here, you are thread piercing tiny yellow stitches that frame the constellations mythology built. Your blue tastes like a grove of orange flowers. Cover me before you evaporate." Okay. And I'm going to read one that I wrote a couple weeks ago. I was reading way too much Sylvia Plath. And I heard the word black marauder. I'm like, what the heck is a black marauder? Found out it's a black bear. So that's where this poem came from. It's called "The Soot Angel Goes Out in the Rain." I sought out the black marauder, asked where the axe was, so I could chop wood behind the shed, think my cave thoughts. I know it's wrong to want your mouth on mine. I have imagined how your mouth might miss mine, brushing a bottom lip, then the deepening. I lie down and a hurricane passes over my body, that wetness that cannot penetrate my soaked skin. I sit within the darkest corner of myself and long for your hands. Will that marauder come and drop more smoke and shrapnel around my little white Cape Cod on the corner? Will he knock at my door after 400 days as if nothing was ever said?
Heather Ann Schmidt!